contractor hell. We're gonna watch the news about contractors hell. So let's check out this news to see what's going on in Florida and what you can do to avoid mistakes.
Whether it is a small job or a major renovation, we all find ourselves in need of a contractor from time to time.
But if you choose the wrong one or don't negotiate a good deal, you could end up in contractor hell. 8 on your side, Shannon Bacon shows us home improvement projects gone wrong.
It's one of the top calls I get to Better Call Bacon. You save up for that dream home renovation and it turns into a nightmare. I want to introduce you to 3 families who ran into trouble and show you the mistakes that they made and how you can avoid making the same ones.
Harry Agato and his wife Leda thought they were upgrading their home.
The only thing he did was install a microwave.
Instead, they ended up with a kitchen they couldn't use and unfinished projects throughout the property.
He said all the right things, and said he was going to correct everything and everything was going to be perfect.
The first mistake they made was to hire the contractor based solely on a recommendation from a friend. If they had done a background search, they would have learned that the contractor had been arrested previously and had even served time in prison. So first, start out by doing a web search of the contractor's name, call your local licensing board and find out what type of license the contractor needs, and go to the BBB website. There you could find lots of red flags.
All right, guys, so this happens more often than you think. We have seen so many projects that we have to jump into a change of contractor because of this same exact scenario. Now, in addition to doing those 3 things that she mentioned, my suggestion to you guys is also make sure that you're talking to the actual qualifier, the person that holds the license for the company. Another tip is make sure you could go visit their office. If they have an office, a place that you could go visit, you could be more secure, more safe that the people that you're hiring, at least they have a business and then you could actually go and see them and meet them if something was to go wrong. So let's keep watching.
Next up, even when you have checked out your contractor, things can go wrong. Shirley Babick wanted a new shed and front porch. She did her research and found a company with an A rating from the BBB. But the next step cost her.
Used and abused.
She forked over $5,200, half in cash, a big no-no, and the other half in a check written to her salesman instead of the company. That guy took off with the money and left her with nothing.
And it's
Wow, big red flag. You should never pay anybody cash or add to the name of a person. It should always be to the name of the company so that you're protected and the company is doing stuff legally, because you're not supposed to be receiving payments under your personal name for tax purposes.
been nothing but a night.
This is a story I hear so many times. Contractors want big bucks up front, usually for materials. But the Better Business Bureau recommends that you never pay in full and that you never pay in cash. It's best to work out a payment plan so that you're paying as work progresses. And remember, don't make that final payment until all of the work is done and the liens on your home are released.
Yeah, so the payment terms are very important and they should always be fair. And by fair is that you should be making progress payments little at a time. By you doing this, you're able to make a payment and see some progress, see at least materials, see things happening to your house before you keep making another payment. Now, a lot of times, some of the small contractors are going to request a big deposit to buy materials and so forth, but you also have to consider what materials do they have to buy and why do they have to make such a big deposit. Now, if you work with a liable company, most likely they won't ask you for the deposit. They're just going to go ahead and start the project and then bill you later. So keep that in mind.
So what do you do if you're stuck in the middle of a contractor nightmare? Nikki Paxoy called me 7 months after she paid $14,000 for new cabinets and got stuck with an incomplete kitchen. Workers started the job and then disappeared. She heard excuses and then unreturned phone calls. Her mistake? She paid too much without knowing about a growing list of unhappy customers. She and nearly a dozen other customers fought back by filing complaints with their local consumer protection office. The business shut down.
It's important to leave reviews and call consumer investigators. And if the contractor takes money and does no work at all, remember that is illegal. Also, if they disappear for more than 90 days, that is job abandonment under Florida law, and they could lose their license.
So let me explain to you what happens with smaller contractors. You make a payment to them, $5,000, $10,000, whatever the payment is. Since they don't have an office, they don't have employees, they don't have overhead, what happens is that they're basically depending on your money to pay their bills or paying for other projects that they may be doing. So when you make the payment, it is very important not to pay so much upfront to make sure that that money is going to your project and your project only. Now, if you want to avoid this, you want to hire a bigger company that has the potential to pay out your project without a problem. What we do at Cutting Edge is that we actually don't charge anything upfront. We basically pay upfront for you and then we bill you after. This assures you that nobody will ever run away with your money. So if you need our help, please visit us at homeremodelmiami.com and talk to you soon.